Anti-cosmic Satanism. Now, you're like, Jason, okay, you just made fun of a ridiculous religion for way longer than you were supposed to. Episodes run a little long. But it's because it's setting up the Misanthropic Luciferian Order. So these guys don't really exist anymore. And again, that should be a bit of a spoiler alert. This group was established in Norway. It was set to the backdrop of the Norwegian, black metal music. It's really popular over there, black metal. And they had a rash of incidents in the 90s where churches were getting burnt down, and this one member of this black metal band blew his brains out, and his band member took a picture of the crime scene and put it on the album cover, and they had little chunks of his skull in their, whatever. That's gross, and it's sad that he killed himself. But anyway, so the Misanthropic Luciferian Order grew out of this, and one of the main founders of it actually was in a band called Dissection. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. I know how to pronounce Dissection, but I don't know if it's pronounced differently in Norwegian. And I actually listened to one of their songs, one of their big songs, and musically, it was really well done. It's not the type of music I listen to in general, but I can appreciate it. I used to listen to tamer stuff, like Metallica and Guns N' Roses, more just heavy. I don't even know if it's classified as heavy metal, but it was actually pretty good. And I was like, oh, that sucks that, this whole story played out. But anyways, so the Misanthropic Luciferian Order, we'll call them MLO from here on out. But I do love saying that name because it's just so ridiculous. They have on their website, and again, this goes to show the mentality of the people we're dealing with. These people believe that the dark gods are fighting against the god that most people know, and that the cosmic world we live in is controlled by the evil god, but we're tricked into thinking he's a good god, and we have to, if we're given a blow, strike back with 1,000 blows, or 100 blows, or whatever it was, and don't be afraid to kill our enemies and die for the dark gods. So this is from an interview that a couple of the leaders gave quite a while back. What does it take for someone to become a member of MLO? So Noxifer is the one answering this. For a candidate to become a member of MLO, she must wholeheartedly sympathize with the misanthropic and anti-cosmic values of our order, and also be over 18 years of age. Again, why do you care how old they are? I get legally you have to care, but if you're the whole universe is against us and the real dark gods are the ones in control, why do you follow any rules at all? Why don't they go, we get them when they're 3 and we just pound heavy metal music into their ears and really get... Because why do you care? Why are you following any laws or wearing any clothes or speaking any language? You should just be I reject everything. Everything comes from an evil god and an evil society. I reject it all. I'm going to walk around buck naked and recruit 15-year-olds. What do you care? Why do you care? And why are you saying he, she? Why are you being so polite and gender neutral? I don't understand the mentality of these guys. At one point, they want to be these feared rebels. And on the other side, they're being but first we must follow the laws. And they, they're them. What is going on with these dudes? So, MLO was this anti-cosmic Satanist group, and they were basically in this big black metal band. They had a bunch of members, I think probably less than 50 at the time, but it was enough. They sat around, they did whatever drugs they do, that's probably a stereotype, and they sacrificed cats. So if you're a cat lover, you automatically hate these people. And 2 of the leaders, the guy who was in the band, his name was John, I can't say his last name, Nodvit. And then he says his accomplice, Vlad. I don't have the last name for the Vlad written down here, but Vlad, I'm sure you'll remember that. They start saying, we're sacrificing cats, and that's cool and all, but you know what the dark gods really want us to do? They want us to kill somebody, a human. They want us to make a human sacrifice. So this is the tipping point for any cult. Someone says, we got to step it up a notch. Let's fight the government, or let's, do a human sacrifice or whatever. In very uncult-like fashion, and I am happily surprised, the rest of the members of the cult left. They're nope, we didn't sign up for this. Killing cats, that's one thing. We're not going to kill a human. They left. So the only people left in the cult at that time in the Misanthropic Luciferian Order was Vlad, John, and Vlad's girlfriend. And so this is the summer of 1997. And John and Vlad are out walking around, kind of like bar hopping, stuff like that. And they meet this young man named Joseph Ben Medor. I think he was a Nigerian immigrant. They're in Norway. So they're hanging out, they're talking, and Joseph goes, hey, you guys kind of look like Satanists. Like, would you tell me more about your beliefs? And they're like, yeah, sure. Again, like, Joseph's just kind of asked them questions. They're walking along, and eventually John and Vlad kind of get the impression that Joseph is gay. And that angers them so much. They hate gay people. They hate them more than they hate the cosmic God. And again, this goes against your own beliefs. Why do you care about someone's morality? And he's just showing you love, and he didn't give you a blow. He didn't strike you down. He didn't do anything. And they're just so angry with him that they make the decision then to kill him. So they walk back. They spend quite a long time walking around. It's dark now. And they invite him into their house. And Joseph, when they got to the house, Joseph decided not to go in. For whatever reason. He probably got his little spider sense tingling. And they're like, okay. And then John says, okay, let me go grab some. And he goes in, he grabs a taser and a pistol. And he goes, let's walk to the park and we'll discuss Satanism a little more. Now, that is an offer I would not accept. You want to go to Starbucks and talk about it? Fine. But I'm not going to go to a park with you at 3 a.m. But Joseph went. And they're walking along. And they shot him with a taser. There's a debate over who shot who, but they shot him with a taser and it didn't take. He didn't get tased, so he takes off running. And then one of the two used the gun and shot him twice and killed him. Eventually, the cops caught up to him. It was this big thing because they couldn't identify the body. Then the gay man's lover was arrested, but he got let free because he didn't do it. And they caught these two guys, and then they eventually confessed because even though they're like hardcore waging war against God, a beat cop can break it out of him. The police could never figure out if he was killed as a satanic worship or as a hate crime. They couldn't, but they just knew that they killed him. These guys got 10 years in prison for killing this dude. And then John Nodvet, after he got out of jail, he hung himself, or I think he shot himself, and he was surrounded by candles, and he had like this satanic grimoire in front of him, and what a way to go. I just think that's just so grim and sad. And then, you die and you're like, oh man, that was all made up. Should have figured it was made up because I wrote it in a 3-ring binder with a big like Megadeth sticker on the cover. Like, I really kind of botched that one. But anyway, so and I'm trying not to make light of his death. I think that's tragic. I don't think that. I wish he hadn't killed himself, even though he had killed somebody. But so that, to put a pin on it, that's really, I think, that's where if your religious commandments are blow everything up, your religion is going to blow up. If your religion is, everything sucks, we're descended from demons, and the one person that's supposed to take care of you, that invisible man in the sky, is the bad guy, and now we have to side with these dark creatures, the dark ones. You call them the dark ones. Spoiler alert, your religion is going to explode, and it is going to explode in blood and violence. And I do have to say this too, killing people is super tacky. Super tacky. I've talked about that before. Oh, big deal. You killed a guy. Oh, he's blood sacrifice. Whatever, dude. You want to be like a true agent of chaos? You could ravage for $5. You could destroy entire ecosystems. You could buy like kudzu vines or creeping vines or that horrible stuff. You can buy plants from around the world and they just throw seeds out of your window as you're driving through Idaho. And then in 5 years, they're going to be like, why the fuck are all of our crops being choked out by these horrible vines? Where did these come from? Go buy some freshwater crocodiles and just like throw babies into the river. Not human babies. Throw a bunch of baby crocodiles into a river as you're driving down the road. You only need 2 guys and it'll start populating. It'll completely... That's Satanism. That's completely like destroying an area for generations and generations. Salt the earth. Oh, dude, you know what? Slipping in the bathtub will kill somebody. That's lame. I just get so fed up where they're like, yeah, dude, sacrifice. Oh, don't get me started on serial killers. Serial killers are the most overrated of all the killers, easily, and they're just so fucking tacky. I'm getting worked up because this young dude died because these two people wanted to prove how badass they were because they were believing that nonsense. And yes, people believe all sorts of nonsense in religions. They do all sorts of horrible things. But come on, dark ones and blowing dudes, and you got to blow them 100 times. It's all nonsense. It's all nonsense. That was a clip from our daily podcast, Dead Rabbit Radio. Dead Rabbit Radio is available anywhere that you listen to podcasts. It's daily paranormal, conspiracy, and true crime news. If you want to hear the full episode that this clip came from, check the link below. Please like and subscribe. And hit that little bell, too. That does some magical stuff. Thanks, guys.